My family scammed me out of $30,000, then posted cruise photos without shame. Here's what I did next. My family betrayed me, taking the money I gave them for a crisis and splurging it on a lavish vacation. When I confronted my mother via WhatsApp, she replied, "This trip is only for our true family." I didn't respond a week later. When they returned, I had a surprise waiting. Want to know how much your family really cares? Lend them $30,000 and wait 3 weeks. If you're like me, Mike, the ignored eldest son in a family like mine, you'll see you're just a cash machine to them. My parents, Cynthia and Gerald, live in a flashy Sacramento suburb called Elk Grove, where appearances trump everything, even if it means drowning in debt. They blend in perfectly. Their priority is their image, not their son's feelings. Then there are my twin sisters, Kayla and Krista, 31 but acting like spoiled teens. They've never held steady jobs, yet everything revolves around them. I've always been the odd one out. I left for San Diego in my 20s, built my own life, and stayed distant. Visits were duty-bound, calls were scarce, and talks were superficial. That was normal. Until 3 weeks ago, when my mother called, her voice dripping with urgency, no pleasantries. She claimed a medical crisis, hospital bills, and a looming foreclosure. The bank wouldn't budge, she said, and they were about to lose it all. Her tone was theatrical, almost scripted. I pressed for details. She sidestepped. I pushed again, more vague answers. I wasn't fully convinced, but they caught me off guard. I just landed a big deal, feeling flush and maybe guilty for escaping their world. So I sent them $30,000, no more questions. All I got was a weak thank you and silence. No updates, no proof, not even a "we're fine." Something felt wrong, so I drove to Elk Grove to check. Their house looked deserted, mail stacked up, no cars, blinds shut. I rang the bell, no answer. Calls went unanswered, then my mother texted, "We're on a luxury cruise in Europe. This trip is just for our true family." No remorse, no explanation, just cold dismissal. I stayed calm, but I wasn't letting it go. I contacted Russ, the nosy neighbor who knows all the gossip, and asked him to alert me when they returned. He nodded, his eyes hinting he suspected something. Driving back to San Diego, I thought about the Lexus I'd gifted them 2 years ago, a $35,000 attempt to win their approval. Now I saw it for what it was, another way they exploited me, so I planned my move. While they enjoyed their cruise on my money, I'd take back what was mine. A week later, Russ called, they were back. I showed up unannounced. They were too busy raving about their trip to notice me at First Wine in Paris, yacht parties in Greece. No mention of the $30,000 or the fake emergency. I cut in. "I'm taking the Lexus until you repay me." Pandemonium broke out. They called me selfish, petty, envious. My father threatened to call the cops until I pointed out the car was in my name. The next day, I found they'd siphoned $400 from an old emergency credit card I'd forgotten to close. That was it. I cut off all access, changed passwords, and waited. Over the next month. They sent sporadic payments. $1,000 here, $500 there, totaling $8,000. No apologies, just passive-aggressive texts about family loyalty. Meanwhile, they told friends I'd abandoned them during a health scare. Then came the final twist. I sold the Lexus for $34,000 cash. As the buyer drove off, a stranger texted me. "Your mom said you left her in a crisis. We donated $4,000, then heard about the cruise." I chuckled. This wasn't about the money anymore. It was about their web of lies, and I was ready to unravel it. The reckoning was coming after selling the Lexus. I thought the drama was over, but my family wasn't finished. The next morning, my phone lit up with notifications, angry voicemails, texts, and calls. "How dare you sell our car?" my father roared in one message. Gone too far. My mother's texts were more calculated. "Mike, we're family. Families move on. Return the money and we'll pretend this never happened." Pretend? After their deception, theft, and victim act. No way. Then came the social media onslaught. Kayla and Krista posted cryptic Instagram stories. Family should mean trust, not betrayal. Some value cash over love. Their nerve was almost impressive, rewriting the narrative to cast me as the villain. The truth started to surface. The text from my mom's old coworker was just the start. Over the next few days, more messages came from people who donated to their crisis. A church member sent a screenshot of a group chat where my mother claimed I deserted them in their hour of need. I couldn't stay quiet. I wrote a post, direct, factual, and scathing. I listed every lie, every dollar stolen, and included the WhatsApp message where my mother called the cruise true family only. I hit post. The response was immediate. Old friends and distant cousins reached out, stunned. Some apologized for buying my parents' story, others just wanted the gossip. My parents, they went silent, the desperate reunion. 3 days later, my doorbell rang. The security camera showed my father alone, looking haggard. I didn't open the door, he left a note. "Let's talk man to man, no lawyers, no drama." I ignored it. At 2 a.m., a text from Krista, "We're sorry, please call." It was their first apology ever too late. The final move. A week later, a certified letter arrived, not from a lawyer but handwritten. "We'll repay the remaining $22,000 in installments. In return, stop humiliating us publicly." I laughed. They weren't remorseful. They were terrified of losing their image, their pity, their free ride. "I didn't sign dot instead," I replied. "Pay me in full, then we'll talk." 6 months later, they've paid back $15,000. Still short, but it's something. The twins blocked me everywhere. My parents send occasional guilt-laden emails about mending bridges. Me, I'm done. I got a new number, a new apartment, a new car, one they've never seen or touched, the money. I'll get it back eventually. The real victory? Freedom. No more lies, no more games, just peace, or so I thought. Then she appeared. It was a rainy Thursday evening when my doorbell rang. The security feed showed Kayla alone under a black umbrella, looking weary and worn. No Krista, no parents, just Kayla. I almost didn't answer, but her slumped, defeated stance piqued my curiosity. "You look rough," I said, opening the door. She didn't react to the jab. "Can I come in? 5 minutes." Against my instincts, I let her in. She sat rigid on my couch, gripping a coffee mug like it was her anchor. "Everything's collapsing," she whispered. "Mom and Dad are divorcing, Krista's in rehab, and I got served papers from the church." I raised an eyebrow. "What papers?" "A fraud lawsuit." She met my gaze, tears smudging her makeup. "They say the donations included $15,000 from the church's building fund." I couldn't help it. I laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. "So you're here because—" "I need your help," she said, wincing. "You're the only one who can fix this." Kayla pushed a folder toward me, bank statements, legal notices, and curiously, the deed to the Elk Grove house. "They'll lose everything," she said. "But if you testify it was a family agreement that you knew about the money." "Stop," I snapped, shutting the folder. "You want me to lie, commit perjury after all this?" Kayla's face twisted. "It's not lying, it's framing the truth like you do in your deals." That hurt. But what hurt more was her refusal to understand. I stood, suddenly drained. "Get out, Mike, please, get out." My yell startled us both. "You don't get to waltz in after the lies, the theft, the manipulation, and ask me to fix your mess. Not now, not ever." Kayla's expression hardened. "Fine. But when they come for us, they'll come for you too. Blood is blood." She slammed the door, rattling the frame. 2 weeks later, the news hit. "Local couple charged with grand theft, fraud," blared the Sacramento Bee. There was my parents' cheerful Christmas photo, the one they'd mailed me with "Wish you were here," splashed across the front page. The story laid it all bare. The fake emergencies, the stolen church funds, the cruise partly funded by a defaulted loan reporters flooded my phone. I ignored them, then a text from an unknown number. "They arrested Mom today. Dad's gone. I have nowhere to go. K." I stared at it for a long time, then I typed 3 words and sent them. "Not my problem." A year later, the final restitution check arrived last week. $8,742.19, my remaining balance plus interest. I used it to book a solo first-class trip to Bali as the plane took off. I thought about the last I'd heard of them. Kayla got 6 months probation for her part in the scam. Krista relapsed days after rehab. My father was caught trying to flee to Canada with $40,000 in cash. My mother served 3 months before moving to a halfway house. The flight attendant offered me champagne. I took it. Over the Pacific, I opened my laptop and deleted the last family photo I had, us at my college graduation, when I still thought we were a true family. Then I closed my eyes and slept better than I had in years. If you connected with this story and felt its emotional weight, please give it a like, share it with others, and subscribe for more real-life tales and heartfelt experiences. Your support means everything and helps us deliver more stories like this. Thank you for reading, and I'll see you in the next one.